everyone, welcome to the Wisconsin Science Festival Sun Experiments. The festival is a 10-day long celebration of art, science, and technology that takes place all throughout Wisconsin.
This past year, the festival had over 650 events throughout 52 counties in Wisconsin. My name's Sarah. I'm a film and economics double major with a certificate in life science communication. And some of my favorite parts of summer are the extended periods of sunshine and fun with economic events.
And I'm Morgan, and I'm a global health and science communication double major here at UW. And my favorite part about summer is going to Memorial Union and hanging with friends and going for long runs on the bike paths. We're super excited to see these fun experiments with you today. Make sure you have your observation sheets, and let's get started. So for our first experiment, you're going to need cyanotype paper, a tray or a piece of cardboard, a clear picture frame or plastic just in case it is windy outside to cover your items, and then you need some small objects like leaves or rocks. Today we're going to be using some fun Wisconsin Science Festival stickers. And then you're going to need a bucket or tray of water. So the cyanotype paper is a special type of paper that is coated in a chemical that reacts with the sun, and placing it in the water helps the image develop. First, place your piece of cyanotype paper on a tray or cardboard. Next, place your objects on the piece of paper. If your objects are lightweight, like a leaf, place a clear picture frame or plastic wrap on top of the object. Next, we're going to put the tray with the paper in the sunlight. Now that our paper has changed color, remove the paper and the objects from the tray and place the paper in a tray or bucket of water for 1 minute. What do you see? I see the stickers outlined on the paper. This happens because placing an object on top of the paper blocks the UV rays from reaching a part of the paper. This imprints the image on the paper because the area around it changes color due to the chemical reactions with the sun's UV rays. Make sure to write down your observations and what you learned from this experiment.
For this next experiment, we will be testing different types of sunscreen to see what blocks the sun's UV rays the best. So you'll first need multiple different types of sunscreen from various different brands or SPF, and a shallow pan or bucket to hold some water, cardboard or a tray, and acrylic sheet of an acrylic sheet, cyanotype paper, and a pencil.
First, we are going to draw squares on our blue cyanotype paper. We are going to draw one more square than the number of sunscreens we are testing. Then below each square, we are going to write the name of one of the sunscreens and the SPF rating. Below the extra square, we are going to write no sunscreen. This will be our control square. Place the sun paper on the tray and the acrylic sheet on top of the sun paper. Spread a thin layer of sunscreen on the acrylic sheet, matching the sunscreen with its labeled square. Once we have our sunscreen squares ready, we are going to put the tray in direct sunlight for 1 minute or until the no sunscreen square turns color. Now that a minute has passed, we are going to remove the tray from the sun and submerge the paper in water for 30 seconds. Next, let the paper dry flat. As the paper dries, notice the areas that are turning dark blue. Write down what you notice on your observations sheet. We are using a special type of paper, cyanotype paper. When the paper is exposed to sunlight, the sun's UV rays react with coating on the paper that cause a color change. Immerging the paper in water stops the chemical reaction and maintains the color change caused by the sun reaction. The darker blue areas show where more UV rays come through. Using different sunscreens, we can test which sunscreen best blocks the sun's UV rays by seeing which squares are lightest, meaning the less UV rays reached it.
For the final experiment, we will be using construction paper, a tray, a clear picture frame or acrylic sheet like what we have here, and objects we want to create our design with. Like I said, we're going to be using still different Wisconsin Science Festival swag, but feel free to use rocks or leaves, stuff like that. To start, we will put our construction paper on the tray and arrange our objects on top of the paper. Place the clear picture frame or acrylic sheet on top of the objects. You can skip this step if the objects are heavy or won't be easy to blow away if there's wind. Now we're going to bring our tray outside and let it sit in the sunlight for 4 to 6 hours. While we were waiting, the area not covered by the objects should turn lighter while the area underneath the objects will remain dark. This creates our design. Remove the objects from the paper and admire your art. What do you notice? How do you think this works? Write down your thoughts on your observation sheet. This experiment works through the sun's ultraviolet rays. UV rays break the bonds of chemicals like the dyes in colored construction paper. This causes the paper to change color. Sunprints, like the one made in this experiment, use objects to shield a part of the paper from the sun's rays, so only the paper surrounding the objects changes color. This leaves the image of the objects on the paper.
Wow, I had a lot of fun doing these sun experiments. What about you, Sarah? I had a blast, Morgan. So we will see you guys October 16th to 26th at the Wisconsin Science Fest. Bye for now. Stay curious.